What are we looking at, Wilton? Less than a minute?
Yeah, less than a minute.
Okay.
You're going to hear in the offline your special opener music for this show.
Okay, cool. Hey, also, just to let you know, 1 week from today, 8:35, the guys from
Mornings
Brock are going
with
to be
Brian
in.
Haldane is hitting the
So we'll
road.
get you your
Today, we're boots on the
credentials down.
ground from the Louisiana Travel Summit. Now, live from the JW Marriott in New Orleans, here's Brian Haldane.
Round 2 is upon us, broadcasting live from the JW Marriott, as voice guy Neil just said. We got Wilton Landry back in studio, ready to take you through another 2 hours of basically every nook and cranny of the state of Louisiana, finding out what makes us unique, what makes us special. The folks that put our best foot forward every time people are in town, well, they're going to be sitting with us for the next 2 hours, having conversations about tourism in Louisiana, the Louisiana Travel Association's annual summit. I just absolutely love this day every time. This is our third time doing it, and it just gets better every single time. We're going from we're not going to start off with a nook and cranny. We're going to start off with an absolutely vital part of Louisiana and head to Lafayette. We got Ben Berthelot in with us. My brother, how are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning. Thanks for being here once again.
No, glad to have you back in. Glad to have you back on with us. How are things?
Doing well. Doing really good.
Lafayette and the whole area, we're all hoping right now, about to hear some big news pretty soon. We're hoping. I don't want to say the Lafayette area specifically, but if you're looking at a bigger metro that's close enough to, I don't know, let's say Pecan Island for some reason or another.
Right.
Can we start there? Do you mind?
Sure.
Okay. Is this reverberating back in Lafayette from the possibility of Elon Musk bringing SpaceX to Vermilion Parish?
I think certainly it's getting real for a lot of people lately. In a lot of the meetings that I'm in, you can't really go to a meeting without it coming up.
Okay.
So I think it's something that we're really excited about the possibility of, and as you mentioned, has the opportunity to really transform our region.
Yeah. So everybody's like all eyes on Meta right now up in Richland Parish. And Richland Parish and Holly Ridge, about 20 minutes away from Monroe. Vermilion Parish, a little bit further, maybe right at an hour, maybe a little over an hour to get from Vermilion Parish back to Lafayette. Is that about
45 minutes from Pecan Island?
Oh, from Pecan about 45. Okay, so you're still. I mean, that's not that much further, and it's very much you're the closest metro to it.
Yeah.
I mean, so there will be, provided everything works out and they come to town, provided everything stays on schedule, there would be some significant economic impact in Lafayette.
There's no question. I think that's what has people excited. It's a generational type potential for our area. If you look at what's happening in Monroe, the occupancy and ADR just in their hotels jumped to one of the highest in the state. And a large result of that is because of Meta. I'll give you one example. We do a golf trip every year, a guy's trip, and we've been going to Black Bear. I tried to book that trip. It's a June trip. Tried to book in February. Could not get a hotel to stay at for our trip. So we had to move to a different, move to Toledo Bend. But that's a type of impact potentially could happen just on hotels, but also you factor in restaurants and retail and all the economic activity that comes along with it. So
week before last, I was up in Monroe for the Louisiana Municipal Association's annual conference, and I had stayed in Airbnb.
Yeah.
Cozy little 2-bedroom. Pretty sure it was haunted.
Right.
But I'm a hotel guy. I love Airbnbs. They're great. I understand their purpose. I'm a hotel guy though. So Monroe is in need, and Lafayette is about to be on. I'm hoping. We're all hoping about to be on the clock.
Me too.
All right. That's what's hoped for. Let's talk about what is.
Sure.
It is still the 250th anniversary of America. We're still celebrating. July 4th is in the rear view, but not the celebration as a whole. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's been great. A lot of the attention has been focused on the East Coast, I think, but we were very fortunate. We had a America 250 special with Traveling with Danella that just aired around July 4th, featuring Boston, Philadelphia, and Lafayette. So what an incredible opportunity for us. And I learned a lot about the history of our people in the Revolutionary War. So that was fantastic. And then in late October, we're going to be hosting the America 250 Mobile Museum at Cajun Field for about 5 days. So really want to encourage people to come visit that and help to kind of close out the America 250 celebration.
When is that one coming up?
End of October.
End of October. Oh, nice. That's gonna be awesome.
Yes.
Weather cools down just enough.
Gumbo weather, and
I gotta ask, and I ask this with all love and respect. How's Lafayette end up on Boston, Philadelphia, and Lafayette.
Well,
I mean, is it just because of the name?
That's exactly right, and it was an incredible.
No, you're kidding.
No, it was an incredible opportunity. But it's a relationships are so important in this industry and in life and in business in general. But the show, Danella Richard is from Opelousas, and so we had developed a relationship.
Oh, wow.
And she actually knew the story better than I did. Her great grandfather served in the war, and she's actually just joined the Daughters of America's Revolution. So that's what ultimately led us to being included. And what a special thing for our area to be alongside Boston and Philadelphia, because we all know the roles that those two cities played.
Well, yeah, that is so cool. I love that. And I mean, Lafayette, you talk about, rewinding the clock that far back and staying close to your roots.
Right.
I'm going to segue over to Festival Acadienne.
Sure.
Where are we at right now? Where are we at? Looking forward to the next one.
Festival Acadienne and Creole is going to be the second week of October. It's a great opportunity to showcase our food, music, and culture. And this year, the Smithsonian Institute is involved in helping to facilitate some growth in the festival as part of America's 250. So the lineup just got announced today. It's a great lineup, and I want to encourage people to check that out and hopefully come visit us in October, in the fall, second week of October.
Okay, no, let me pull it up here. I want to make sure when we look at what's going on here, because it's a really, really cool festival, very underrated. I always miss out on it because I work with LSU for football,
right?
Home or away,
and that is a challenge always, depending on the football schedule. But it's a free festival, and it's a great affordability piece there, and our hotels are very affordable, and just the music. It's really a great weekend of display of everything we're known for. Our food, they have vendors set up from all over the region. The music, obviously, some great Cajun and Zydeco music, and then the artisans, a great opportunity to purchase some art, all in the heart of Lafayette at Girard Park. I've been around for over 50 years.
I'm looking at this. I think it would be easier to list the Zydeco bands that aren't going.
Correct. Yes, it's amazing.
Look at this lineup.
It's three nights of incredible music.
Unreal. Talk about the art and the artisans and the craft work, and what it's available for purchase, because this is really a touch back to what was and what hopefully remains.
Yeah, such a wide spectrum. I mean, obviously, arts and culture is such a big piece of our area and our history, and so there's the arts and crafts and paintings and all of those things, but handmade tea fairs, and there's just a wide spectrum of. There's no limit to what you can buy. Probably around 50 or so vendors, if I had to guess, and so you really never have to leave the grounds, because you can stay, listen to the music, have some food, do your shopping. But obviously, people do leave and go to other restaurants and other retail centers in the area. So it's a great opportunity for us to get people here for the first time. We've had all 50 states represented over the years, and just very unique to our area.
Ben Berthelot from Lafayette is with us. We are talking about all things. Lafayette Travel is with us. We're talking about all things Lafayette as we're in this first segment here, broadcasting live from the Louisiana Travel Association's annual summit. Ben, I got to rewind back to this morning. We had a number of different folks on talking about youth sports in different areas around the state. And such a juggernaut, man. Yeah. Such an economic juggernaut. I would have never pegged this for being the driver that it is, but it really is.
Right.
Y'all are crushing it in Lafayette on this front.
We are.
Lafayette and the suburbs, as it were. Right. So tell me a little bit about what your approach is, where you're winning, and where you want to be.
First of all, it starts with great infrastructure and great leadership in our surrounding communities who voted many years ago to tax themselves, actually, to fund some of these parks. And so we wouldn't be having this discussion if it weren't for the infrastructure available. But just this summer, we hosted the USSSA National All-State Baseball Championships for 5 nights, starting on Tuesday night. We were sold out, every room in the parish, even overflowed all the way to Iberia Parish. So it benefited really the entire region. That event was held in Indianapolis last year. Indianapolis just hosted the Final Four. Indianapolis has hosted a Super Bowl. Indianapolis hosts the NFL Combine every year. So for us to follow in the footsteps of Indianapolis was really a wonderful thing, put us on the map. But the economic impact, like I just said, 5 straight nights in the middle of the summer, which historically 20 years ago, summer was a very slow time, because as far as travel, it's there's no festivals. It's hot. People don't necessarily want to be in our area, and that's just what the youth sports market has done, is opened up 3 more months of business for us, and so we're certainly capitalizing on that. In December, we're going to host the USA National Cross Country Championships at Munkus Park. That'll be about 3,500 people in town in December, which is a slow month for our hoteliers. So we continue to try to go after these large events during our need months for our hotels and our community, and we've been very successful at that. So then following that up, the week after that in December, we'll be hosting the USA Boxing National Championships for the second time. The first time we hosted that event a couple of years ago, it was actually the Olympic trials.
Oh, nice.
So we'll be hosting that event again. That'll be another 3,500 or so people back to back in December. So it's fantastic. And as you look forward into the future, last time we were on, we spoke a little bit about our indoor sports complex we're working on alongside many others in the state who are now working on the same thing. At some point, I think everybody will have one. We're certainly not afraid to compete and have been able to do that
Is
very
it competition or is there coordination? Like, because, I mean, you got to talk with all the same people that put all the same tournaments and whatnot. It's like, okay, fine, you're going to, Shreveport in June. What's on the calendar in July? Can we get in for another one? Because, the parents are going to keep as a parent who does it, like, it's one tournament doesn't get it done. There's a whole, few months worth to compete for. So is it competition or coordination?
It's a good question. And it really depends. We compete for this USSSA National All-State Championships that I mentioned. We're not going to get that event every year.
Right.
I would love to get it every 4 years, and I think we have a chance to get it every 4 years. But that's for us. That's our Super Bowl type of event.
Right.
Then you have these regional type state events that there is some collaboration on. They rotate the different fields across the state, and great for our area, just not quite on the level of the magnitude of the one we just hosted. So it's a kind of combination of those two things, but there are some things we compete on. We just got the LHSAA State Basketball Championships back in Lafayette.
Yeah.
That's been in Lake Charles for 11 years. Lake Charles did an incredible job with that event, did absolutely nothing wrong. It's an event that was held in Lafayette prior, and really, if you look at the Cajun Dome and the type of facility, it's a wonderful experience for the student athletes. So that's something that we just got back that Lake Charles has. So a lot of these things move around over the years, but it's a huge market for us. It's one, not just us, but all across the state, all across the country. And we're fortunate. Our team, Carl Tubes and Jimmy Mouton and others have been doing a great job bringing in some really big events that are moving the needle. Ben
Berthelot with Lafayette Travel. Appreciate a couple minutes today, man. Let's get back at it.
Absolutely. Appreciate you being here. Always great to talk to you.
Love coming out for it. All right, we are due up for our first break. When we come back, we're going to step away from the individual municipalities and communities and whatnot and talk with Vito Zapardo. Vito is with Miles Partnership. I'm going to leave it right there. When we come back, we'll break it down with Vito next. Appreciate you. Likewise. You done the retreat statement?
I have not, but I'm going to try to get another one going. Still very involved. I help with the Bible study on Friday morning, but we have one Labor Day weekend. So, and I think, they have good groups. So. What about you?
14.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a big commitment.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like being a bureaucrat for Christ.
Yeah.
It's not my wheel.
Yeah.
Well, good. Appreciate you. I think I'm your next victim. Vito? Yes. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Yeah, we just went in a break. So, right. What is Miles Partnership?
So we are one of the
The conversation continues now. Coverage of the 2026 Louisiana Travel Summit, live from the JW Marriott in New Orleans, is on Talk 107.3.
keeping it rolling right here from LTA's Louisiana Travel Association's annual summit, and we're moving quickly. This is gonna be a rapid 2 hours, y'all, because it's guest after guest after guest after guest. We're not slowing down within it. Now, I tell you, we're taking you every part of the state of Louisiana. We'll be in Jefferson Parish in our next segment. Back to New Orleans after that. We're gonna go up to Monroe, West Monroe. As we move forward, we got a lot to cover. So let's keep it moving with we got Vito Sapardo. He is the vice president for Miles Partnership. Now, this is a conversation I'm looking forward to because, first of all, welcome aboard. How are you?
Thank you. Very good.
Glad to have you on here. But when you see New Orleans and company get out there and put on the Super Bowl, I mean, be a part of the Super Bowl experience and bringing that whole thing to town and just running things behind the scenes. When you see the lieutenant governor's office seemingly everywhere in the nation all at once, it takes a lot to pull that off. And this is where Miles Partnership comes in. This is what y'all do. Give us the quick descriptor.
Well, I'll tell you, our company works with over 100 destinations, attractions, hospitality entities such as hotel resorts, that sort of stuff. I'm from New Orleans and I live in Baton Rouge now. However, Louisiana, comparing it to other destinations, is so easy to market, in my opinion. There's such authenticity. We're not making or generating something cool. We have it already. So we have a awesome job. I've been working with Office of Tourism for probably almost 25 years now, and it's been a lot of fun. I feel like through hurricanes, oil spills, all the different crazy things, we get to keep Louisiana on a positive vibe and keep us in the spotlight.
But I mean, it's difficult because it's easy to do, but it's difficult at the same time because you have people who believe that Louisiana is swamp from start to finish.
That is right.
You have people that believe that when you mentioned the oil spill. I mean, how much international attention was brought on Louisiana for something that people have no idea what the state of Louisiana is actually like, but they hear that's Louisiana. We don't get the full scope outside of the state of what we actually are in the state.
Exactly. And that is the interesting part of this job. When I first started a gazillion years ago, like I said, it was right after Katrina, where all of the news stories where New Orleans was underwater and all this in Europe and all abroad, they thought the entire state was devastated. Well, it was not. There was, they were ready to accept visitors in other parts of the state. And, New Orleans was coming back slowly, but there was definitely a story to be told. But to your point, exactly, you need to make sure that awareness is there when those things happen. So disaster recovery is a huge piece of Louisiana's tourism history. And I'm glad we're in the spot we are today.
What part of Louisiana is your favorite story to tell?
Well, I'm a little biased with New Orleans just because I'm from here, and but there's so many unique places to see all throughout the state, north, central, and south. So many unique stories, and South Louisiana has a lot of tourism infrastructure that most people in, say, London are aware of. They're aware of Jackson Square. However, not too many people might be aware of Poverty Point, where it's up there in north east Louisiana, and it's a World Heritage Site.
Yes.
It's a UNESCO site, which is extremely difficult to qualify for those. So some of the lesser known things off the beaten path. Louisiana Byways program is such a great way to be able to connect some of those stories throughout the state. So that's one of the initiatives.
Wait, walk me through that. Go deeper on that. That's no pun intended. But walk me through the Louisiana Byways program connecting. Tell me how that happens.
So there's designated stretches of road that exist throughout the state. Many are in rural parts of the state that a normal tourist may not go to.
Right.
However, when you're traveling the byways, the official word is scenic byways. However, it's not so much about the scenery. It's more about the stories and the intrinsic values that you find along those roads.
Right.
The history, the culture, all of those things that bring people into some of those areas that normally they would not have experienced. And certainly no one wants to be labeled a tourist,
Right.
you
Right.
know? So this is a real genuine way to not be a tourist, to really just be an explorer through the
Well,
state.
because a big part of it is like we all get caught up in our interstate system. And the scenic byways were there long, long before that. So before you had an interstate system, you had different connectors from community to community.
Yes.
We can blow right past those at 70 miles an hour right now and never worry about it, which was kind of a subplot of the movie Cars. But it's still, because we drive differently today or on different paths today, the history is still there and the culture is still there.
Yes. A town like Marksville,
Great example.
There's Paragon Casino there that gets visitors, but there's so much rich culture in downtown Marksville and stories to tell that ordinarily, we're not that far from Marksville right now as we sit here in New Orleans. So, using New Orleans as that main attractor, and then especially on the international visitor who stays longer, spends more when they're here. They come to New Orleans, that's where they land, but they certainly explore out in some of those initiatives, such as the Byways program and the various trails. There's a million trails. We could talk for a long time on trails.
Oh, I mean, what trails as far as like hiking, walking, biking? What are we looking at?
Well, we have various food trails.
Like the food trails, the Audubon Golf Trail. Those trails.
Hot sauce trail.
There's a hot sauce trail.
Yes. Well, it's not so much you want to drive this in one day,
right?
But it's certainly, you could look at that and say, there's unique items within this territory, and I want to try, a few different things. So
I follow you on that front for sure. All right. So if you're working with the Lieutenant Governor's office, you're being sent all over the place. I mean, I think we're not doing the Thanksgiving parade anymore, or are we back in on that?
No. So the Macy's initiative, and I'll kind of give a little backstory on how all of that came about. Post-COVID, Mardi Gras was canceled for the first time since who knows when. Lieutenant Governor tasked us with, we would really like to relaunch Mardi Gras and let everyone know that it's back and better than ever. And our idea that we presented was, how great would it be? We know parades. How great would it be to be on the East Coast with Macy's at Thanksgiving and the West Coast with Rose Parade during perfect vacation planning time? Keep Louisiana out there. So Louisiana was in Macy's for 3 years, and then at the same time Rose. However, when we presented this, we had no idea how to even do this.
Right.
So that was a learning experience, and there's quite an application process that goes along with it. In Louisiana, again, that's a testament. We have such a great story to tell. Both entities were like, yes, we want you. And they don't take anyone just because they have a check to write. You have to have that story. So we were really showcased on a world stage through Macy's, and we continue to participate in Rose just because of the return on investment is tremendous. And that has a domestic and also international audience.
Lieutenant Governor Nungesser, when he comes on the show talking about the Tournament of Roses parade, loves to tell the story of the woman who's from New Orleans, lives out there now, and makes y'all beignets when you're out there.
Yes.
Are they legit?
They're legit. Beignet Box is the name of it. Yes.
Very nice. And by the way, go back to the Thanksgiving Day parade. There has been possibly nothing in the history of the state funnier than hearing commentators seeing the 6'10" Stompers for the first time.
Yes.
It's to hear someone on NBC say out loud, I have no idea what I'm looking at. That's just okay, you stumped the world. Awesome.
Yes.
Come on down.
That's our trademark.
So how do we take that and translate it back into understanding the rest of us, though? Because that's another great foot forward, another glimpse behind the curtain of who we are and what we can do. From that point, from there to conversion, what does that look like?
Well, from there to conversion, you have to start with the awareness to keep us top of mind. There's a lot of competition out there for the travel dollars, and obviously, things are a little more expensive today than they may have been a year or 2 years ago. especially fuel prices and things like that. So you're really competing for that vacation dollar. But research has shown people are prioritizing their vacations,
Yes.
even in a somewhat tight economy, which is great for us. So, the idea is to keep us top of mind during vacation planning. And, obviously conventions, meetings, those help because if I'm traveling somewhere that is really interesting and fun, I want to bring my family there next,
Right.
and do more of a leisure side versus sit in a convention center. So, all the various CVBs throughout the state, from a convention and meeting standpoint, I think that's a great introduction to a lot of visitors that ordinarily would not have come to Louisiana. So,
Last one before we get you out of here, and that's kind of on a what is it you'd like to do as far as something the state's not involved in yet, something that Billy's office or New Orleans company is not involved in yet. What would you like to tackle?
ooh, that's a great question.
I mean, IPW is coming here next year, so
yeah.
that could put you front and center to do something like that. But what is it you haven't done you want to do?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what I want to do. However, I love to think of some crazy ideas that, luckily, with Lieutenant Governor's administration, he gives a thumbs up. He likes out of the box ideas, and when
Yes, he does.
we launched the brand. Louisiana Feed Your Soul. When he took office, there was a lot of research involved in that, and that brand was created, and it's so authentic and really true to this day. However, how do we launch that? So we thought up an idea. We had food trucks wrapped in Mardi Gras colors on Mardi Gras Day in 5 of our key feeder cities that were giving out free king cake, beads, sweepstakes to come visit us. So although it was Mardi Gras Tuesday here in the state where all the partying was happening, we were in other markets showcasing what Louisiana has, giving beads with future dates of Mardi Gras on it. So it was a lot of fun. We're in DC, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta. So it was a lot of fun.
Very cool stuff. He is Vito Zapardo. Greatly appreciate a couple minutes today, man.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much. We're going to keep it moving. Like I said, these hours go by super quick. Quick break. When we come back on the other side of the break, we got Violet Peters, Jefferson Parish, Visit Jefferson Parish, their CVB. She'll be up next.
All right, break's about to finish.
Now back to the JW Marriott in New Orleans. Coverage of the 2026 Louisiana Travel Summit is on Talk 1073.
Back at it from the JW Marriott on Canal Street in New Orleans, and we're going from New Orleans all the way out to Jefferson Parish. I mean, like neighboring, right? Violet Peters with Visit Jefferson Parish is with us. Welcome back. You've been on the show before.
I have. Thank
Yeah,
you.
in fact, if I'm not mistaken, the last time you were on the show, or I was going to derail the whole thing. The last time you corrected me for making fun of Frisbee golf.
Which is disc golf, of
I
course.
see that you
Nobody
correct-
calls it Frisbee.
So, which when y'all were working on something on that front, and you were telling me just a moment ago, it's going to be back.
Yes, so we hosted the first annual Big Easy Open this past spring. It was phenomenal,
Mhm.
great turnout, and it was just announced yesterday. It's coming back to Jefferson Parish.
Where?
It is going to be in Parc des Familles on the west bank of Jefferson. Gorgeous park, a gorgeous disc golf course there, of course, right in the heart of the swamp.
Nice. Okay, so that's a great place to start then, because one of the things that can get so easily overlooked when you've got 64 parishes in the state is how much ridiculous amount of ground that Jefferson Parish covers.
Yes.
And the different terrains, the different venues, the different everything from Metro to Grand Isle.
Extremely
And-
diverse.
yes, and so
Yes. Yes,
I gotta-
you've got Metropolitan New Orleans,
Right.
So as you called Metro, right?
right.
In the west bank of Jefferson Parish, all of that is Metropolitan New Orleans, and then you flow into the Jean Lafitte area where you've got the swamps, excellent swamp tours, and just showcasing the culture that we have.
Yes.
The fishing and the nature trails, all the way down to the coast of Grand Isle. in
Which, by the
Jefferson
way,
Parish.
do not get me started on that with the fishing right now. I'm in a fishing zone right now. So we were down in Grand Isle. Well, we're in Fouchon, but the CCA fishing rodeo was in Grand Isle, and
Yay.
what an unbelievable experience! Because there's fishing and there's catching,
Oh,
and well, we were doing a little bit of both. But when you start pulling them in, it's
that's
such a-
so
such a great-
amazing. It's
such a
so
great time,
amazing.
and the folks in Grand Isle, all throughout Grand Isle, they're born hosts. They're born
Absolutely.
to serve. And you were telling me the Hurricane Hole Invitational
Hurricane
coming up?
Hole Invitational is coming up, so we're excited about that. I believe it's the first time the event's going to happen, so we're really excited about that. But you're right about Grand Isle. This is their moment all year long that they shine throughout all of the summertime with the 7 miles of beach. Not to mention, you got the amazing fishing,
Right.
but there's amazing beach out there too.
Well, and we don't have a whole lot of beach in Louisiana.
no,
so,
which is why I bring it up.
yeah, no, absolutely, and it's worthwhile to be sure. It's not. It's not the same as you'll get along like, let's say the most of the Gulf Coast, but it's a draw. It's a legitimate draw, and
It
there's
really
just
is.
something with other beaches. You get a lot of mess. You get a lot of
Mix-ins. we'll call it.
yeah. No elbow room whatsoever, and a whole lot. Mix-ins is a
Mhm.
great term for that.
Mhm.
But in Grand Isle, it's the
Yeah. Well, we've
the
got the
best.
Grand Isle State Park there.
Okay,
So
yeah.
not only, the beach is also part of the state park as well, but you've got the lookout right there. You
Mm-hmm.
can climb up and just get the view that, is not to be missed, really.
Absolutely. We'll get back to a couple of other events in just a quick minute, but I want to talk about approach and whatnot, because yes, you have so many different tools and tool shed here, from metropolitan to more rural, to swamp, to fish. You have all these tools and tool shed, plus your neighbors with a world-renowned city. So
Yes.
how does that affect approach when you're trying to draw to Jefferson Parish?
Well, we love being next door to New Orleans. We love being part of metropolitan New Orleans, and we know that we're a complement to New Orleans, and we believe we're but rather New Orleans compliments us and we compliment them, because it's vice versa. Any visitor that we get that comes in and does some of our outdoor events, some of our historic districts, they're going to day trip into New Orleans,
Yeah.
and they're going to see the sights. They're going to spend some money, shop and eat, and food is what we all do best, right? So so that's a win-win. And so when you visit New Orleans, you have the same opportunity to pop over into Jefferson if you're overnight in New Orleans, and come over and do the swamp tour. We've got 2 state parks, we've got a national historic park, which hopefully we'll have news about that coming soon. But the nature trails, it's such a different adventure than what New Orleans as the proper Bourbon Street, Canal Street, and all of that offer. It's a great opportunity for visitors to come and get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it is. And well, I mean, you literally cannot fly into New Orleans without being in Jefferson Parish.
No, you cannot.
It's like that's not even like that's the turn of phrase. That's a literal thing. We're talking with Violet Peters from Visit Jefferson Parish. All right, let's get back on it. You mentioned Grand Isle and the Hurricane Hole. Tell me which was when again?
That is the end of this month. I'm sorry, I don't have the dates on my.
No worries.
Here it is. You can find it at visitjeffersonparish.com though.
Okay.
Listed on there. We are also wrapping up our snowball showcase at which ends on Labor Day.
Okay, so tell me about this, because this is one that the Haldane family, we are snowball aficionados, to be sure.
Really?
Yes, we are. Yeah, no, we do. No, you give me the traditional nectar cream with condensed milk, and that's my go-to.
Really?
So I could keep all the other the fly-by-night flavors. I'm the traditionalist. My wife and kids, they'll explore with new stuff.
I'm seasonal, so I've had that season of nectar with cream. I've had the chocolate with condensed milk season. I've had the stuffed snowball season
with the scoop ice cream in the middle.
With the ice cream in the middle, and there's really no wrong way to snowball. Right. So, but what covers Jefferson Parish all throughout are so many snowball stands, and it's such a great tradition and part of our culture as to what we locals, this is how we cool off. Yeah, we know it's warm, we know it's hot, but this is how we cool off.
So, okay, are you allowed to have favorites on which snowball stand you're pushing folks to?
I love them all. Does that answer your question?
No, that doesn't. That's a political answer. Give me Billy Nungesser back in here. That's a politician's answer right there.
They are all fabulous.
So, then I'll have a go-to. My go-to is Sal's. So,
Sal's,
yes,
of course,
absolutely.
Of course. That was actually mentioned in the opening session. I believe Walt mentioned Sal's with his family.
Awesome. But here's the thing, though. Sal's, for those in Baton Rouge, if you're not too familiar with Metairie, then you have the corner of Metairie Road and Bonneville, and it's right there. It's right across from St. Catherine's. But there's this little driveway that goes in front of Sal's and in front of the drugstore right there. They named the street after Amy Coney Barrett.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's now on Amy Coney Barrett Drive.
I didn't realize that.
They did, and I'm like, it's funny when you pull in, because it's like I thought this was just a driveway. I didn't realize it was a full street.
No, it's been a full street.
But now it's Amy Coney Barrett Drive, and I'm thinking to myself, we have a woman from New Orleans on the Supreme Court, and we give her a 1-block street.
Oh, but in front of Sal's.
It's in front of Sal's. The majority is right there, but it's there's only 2 stops. I mean, she's Amy Coney Barrett. She's on the bench.
Do you know how many people hit that street though?
Oh, thousands throughout the summer.
Absolutely. And they hang around a while, because what's right there is all of the we'll call them benches, although they're not really benches, but
they're like tree stumps.
Sits and
you sit on the tree stumps out there, all the cut off trees. But and by the way, if we're not painting a good enough picture, it is such a cool, no pun intended, a cool spot, because it's a true representation of what Old Metairie is as a family neighborhood.
It really is.
It really, Sal's is unbeatable. I'm just saying, I think Amy Coney Barrett deserves a street that has more than 1 block to it. That's my whole point right there.
But then she doesn't have Sal's.
Nah,
so,
trade-offs.
I don't know.
Trade-offs for sure.
I think she gets some good coverage there.
Yeah. You said during the break when we were talking, Gretna Fest is not going to be in its normal format anymore.
Yeah, well, not anymore. It's just this year.
Oh, just this year.
This year they've got some construction happening, so it won't be the big weekend festival that's happening. But they are doing something called Gretna Festing, and that's going to be throughout October. It'll be one-night concerts that are free and open to the public. They are going to start off on October 3rd. They got Third Eye Blind playing on October 3rd.
Seriously?
Absolutely. Absolutely. On the 10th, they've got the Spinners featuring Irma Thomas herself, which will be a show not to miss.
Awesome.
Right. Let's see. In October 17th, Shane Smith and the Saints. And then let's see. Wait. With them old ghosts. So, and then it ends up on October 24th. Gretchen Wilson is the last show. So it'll be a great different
Who's booking
celebration
in
of
Gretna?
October.
I mean, that's okay.
It's fabulous.
Yeah.
It's fabulous. Gretna knows how to do it.
Very, very much so. Before we get you out of here, just a minute or two left with Violet Peters from Jefferson Parish. Just before we get you out of here, there's been so much evolution of the parish as well. Does that make your job harder, easier, or just doesn't matter when it comes to how you see the parish grow within itself? I mean, there's so much. You know, there's been suburban growth, but then the suburban growth turns into business. We see where the East, JP East is it's a different world than it is across the river, and when you get further down and whatnot. But there's been so much evolution along the way.
And it's been great though. So let's talk about on the west bank of Jefferson Parish. We've had the Westwego Sports Complex, which is brought in new fields to their multi-purpose field. A lot of baseball, even some soccer, and so that is a new addition where you've got 8 fields in one location, which is something that we've been asking for from a tourism perspective because it gives us the ability to host more people.
Mhm.
And when we can host more people, that means the economic impact of tourism grows even stronger, which is why we do what we do every day.
Well, I didn't even plan on talking about youth sports in this segment. We talked about youth sports in just about every segment so far today. It's a juggernaut.
It's huge.
It's a juggernaut.
It's huge.
Do y'all have a lot of emphasis on that? I mean, it's because
we do. Sports is our number one market. We do, in addition to youth sport, most of it is youth sports. In addition to that, we do a lot of military reunions. Actually, we love, the fact that the World War II Museum is right here in New Orleans. Those reunion groups like to stay in the suburban areas, and so we cater to them, and it works out really well as well.
And by the way, that's a phenomenal market. When I used to work in hotels, we would tap that market all the time, selling them on the kid for sure. But yeah, that's. And it's a market you can be proud of selling to.
Absolutely, absolutely. We want them. We want them to come in. They love to get together, and we love to provide the destination for them to be comfortable and enjoy that time that they get to spend because they've earned it. They've served their country. They've served all of us, and they've earned that right to come in and enjoy each other.
Very, very good stuff. Awesome. I've kept you way too long. Violet Peters with Visit Baton Rouge. Appreciate you a couple minutes.
Visit Jefferson Parish.
I'm sorry. Goodness gracious. I just looked up at Laura like 2 seconds ago. That's Visit Jefferson Parish. I knew I was going to mess up at some point today.
No worries. That's good company to be in.
Yeah. We get a quick break. We're coming back next on Talk 107.3.
All right, we're about to come back in.
The conversation continues now. Coverage of the 2026 Louisiana Travel Summit, live from the JW Marriott in New Orleans, is on Talk 1073.
Brian, you there? Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on.
Oh. All right, keeping it moving here on Talk 1073 FM as we're broadcasting live from the Louisiana Travel Association's annual summit. We do this every year, and I do my best not to book a guest in the last segment of the hour because we normally run a little bit long and have a little bit of extra time on our hands. So our next guest is going to be Mark Romig from New Orleans and Company. He's coming up just after the top of the hour, but while we have a quick minute, let's go ahead and take a little recap, if we can, of what's been going on from the Louisiana Travel Association down here in New Orleans throughout the morning. It was just such a fun ride throughout the morning. Talking about, we had Chris Landry. He's the president and CEO of Louisiana Travel Association. He was on with us this morning, and in fact, he's walking by as we speak right now. Oh, golden, Chris. Let's think about hospitality people. Do what? Sure. Yeah, that's the thing about hospitality people, always trying to feed you and making sure you're taken care of. We had Chris on this morning and Nelson Gum. He's the board chair with the Louisiana Travel Association. Had them both on talking about where the state is at right now and where it's headed on a travel perspective. We actually kept them on for 2 segments before getting to Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. And this is what I really want to break down here. It was his segment on with us, talking about marketing the state, talking about a number of the projects that he's working on, whether you were talking about the waterways or like we were talking about with Vito Sapardo, the back byway, the scenic byways, as it were. We're in overdrive right now. We're in overdrive right now when it comes to marketing the state from a tourism perspective. And there's just so much on the news front that affects that, which has kind of directed the conversation. It's kind of directed where the conversation has gone today, because we talked a lot of youth sports throughout, and we've also talked about tourism as an economic driver. And this is something that we didn't see a whole lot of before until you really grasp that it is what it is. There's no way around it. What is the tourism industry? Who makes up the tourism industry? That would be the hotels. That would be the airports. That would be the restaurants. Well, at the same time, while that's tourism, it's also, if someone is coming into Louisiana, scouting Louisiana, if someone has, if Susan Bourgeois is calling on people all around the world trying to get them to relocate their businesses here, well, it's the tourism industry in and of itself that is our front door. It's the tourism industry that they meet first before they meet anybody else. So it wasn't with Billy that I said this. It was with Kyle. Was it Kyle Edmondson? Yes, from Lake Charles. Was talking about, when you are utilizing tourism as an economic driver, what you're doing is you're making sure you're very intentionally putting your best foot forward. When you've got someone who is looking to open up a new swath of business, or maybe even relocate their main business, when you've got that as potential on the table, you don't want to leave things up to a part-time front desk clerk who's trying to study biochem at the front desk, because while they're working at a Fairfield Inn in Lake Charles, they're also a full-time student at McNeese. You don't want that to be your first impression, because it's going to be distracted, and it's not going to be glowing, and it's not going to be the hospitality that Louisiana is known for. So putting priorities in place is an amazing thing, and seeing that work out between the Lieutenant Governor's office and then a couple segments ago talking with Vito Zapardo about how they work all that. And then Kyle Edmondson from Lake Charles added to it, talking about it is actually a very coordinated effort. It is, something that they're conscious of, and you take what we're good at and you make us even better at it. You put together, all-star teams to show off and recruit, as it were. It's our wheelhouse, and it'll be more and more utilized. And just from a news perspective, if you will, be on the lookout over the next couple weeks. Be on the lookout next week specifically for not one but maybe multiple announcements on that front, talking about not directly but very, very indirectly. It's nobody's making billion-dollar decisions based off of how warm their cookie is at the DoubleTree, but you can you can lose out by starting someone off on the wrong foot for sure. It is a team effort from start to finish. Coming up next hour, 12:05, in fact, Mark Romig from New Orleans and Company is going to join us. Looking forward to this conversation a great deal, and here's why. Mark, along with his day job at New Orleans and Company, he also hosts a show called The Love Nola. I think it's a podcast. I always see clips of it on social media. He's got The Love Nola Show, where he tells phenomenal stories from people, or other people tell him phenomenal stories about their experience within the city. Mark has a little questionnaire he hits them with, the official New Orleans questionnaire, and I have it jotted down on a piece of paper somewhere, and as soon as I find it, I'm going to ask him his own questionnaire about the city of New Orleans. Mark is also going to talk to us about, outside of his day job as well, he's got 3 jobs just like I do, he's also the voice of the Superdome. So you hear him at Saints games, and you will hear him coming up in about 8 minutes from right now. The Saints been around for 6 decades now. No, they're not 60 years old, but they've been around for 6 decades now. We're going to talk with him about that. Also, next hour, Alana Cooper is going to join us. She is from Monroe, West Monroe. Y'all know I'm on a Monroe high right now. I have been since getting back from being a guest at the Louisiana Municipal Association's annual conference 2 weeks ago. Got a lot to talk about with Alana Cooper. And then we got a very special guest to end out the show. Right now, though, it looks like we're about 30 seconds away from having a break. We're going to take that break. We're going to visit ABC News. You're going to hear a couple commercials before we come back. Man, it is a fun ride. It is a fast ride. Broadcasting live from the Louisiana Municipal Association's annual summit at the JW Marriott on Canal Street in New Orleans. All right, that's 4 hours down. 4 hours down. 1 hour to go, and we're not stopping. We're not slowing down, but we are pushing pause right here for ABC News on Talk 107.3 FM.
I went crying for her because our kids went from like 200,000 to 50,000 a day down to 25,000. And I did something wrong. She's glad to me that they taken it off of me, so that we have been using outside of New Orleans. They went through this local guide, and I had to go to Joe because it was just off. And I said, look, this is what they did. We need to correct this. Right? Just putting the flag over.
How are you, sir?
I'm good.
How's things been this far?
Things are good. Things are good. It's been a good session. Just had like a marketing roundtable with all the
All right, how we looking, Wilton?
Good there.
All right. So about 15 seconds.
Thanks for letting me put you on the spot.
Hey,
there.
I'm texting with
Last
Butch.
advertisement, we're gonna
I'm
come back
texting
to.
with Butch. We're gonna have some fun. Yeah. We're gonna have some fun.
Now back to the JW Marriott in New Orleans. Coverage of the 2026 Louisiana Travel Summit is on Talk 107.3.
Yeah, we are back at the JW Marriott on Canal Street in New Orleans for the Louisiana Travel Summit, Louisiana Travel Association's annual summit. Oh man, this is going by way too fast, y'all. I look forward to it every year. I mean, when we first brought up, this was only 2 years. It was only 2 short years ago, where Chris Landry said, "Come on up to Shreveport and do the show from the convention center." And I'm like, "What the hell am I doing? I don't. What are we even going to talk about?" And just organically, as the guests started coming in, and we started hearing stories from every corner of the state and every point in between, I'm like, "This is amazing. Louisiana is amazing. I don't have to sit in the studio and complain about headlines day to day. No, I can get out and explore a little bit and hear from the people who are literally selling the state to the rest of the world." And that's what we're going to do right now as we start our last hour of coverage. We got Mark Rome again with us from New Orleans & Company. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm good, Brian. It's so good to see you again. And
Likewise.
like you said, this is the place to be if you want to understand the greatness of our state.
Yes.
I mean, you've got people from every corner selling into Louisiana, but they're also sharing with each other this weekend, this week here in New Orleans, and learning best practices on marketing and social media and leadership. And it just another reason why Louisiana is such a great state.
It is amazing. And the lessons on collaboration, just from watching.
Yeah.
You just watch people run it and just the collaboration that stems from it.
And we had a great first panel this morning. We had Susan Bourgeois, Department of Economic Development. You had Colonel Beeson, the head of state police, and Mayor Moreno and Walt Leger talking about collaboration. It was great.
Yeah, well, and one of the running topics, 2 of the running topics today have been tourism as an economic driver, which is vital. I mean, when you think about it, if you're Susan Bourgeois and you're selling the state or some part of the state to a billionaire from somewhere else who wants to create 1,000 jobs in our backyard, his first point of contact is going to be someone in the tourism industry. Like the first person, your first impression of the state is going to be landing in an airport, is going to be checking into a hotel.
Which leads to the fact that that person will want to come back and do business here because of this authenticity that we get throughout the state of Louisiana.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a lot to cover. The other running theme has been youth sports as a juggernaut.
Yeah.
And I don't think we could stop it.
No, you know who's done a great job with that? Lafayette, Louisiana.
We had Ben on to start off the
Ben
last hour.
Knocking it out of the park,
yeah, and
so to speak.
Yeah, literally and figuratively. I love
and
it.
so is Jefferson Parish, by the way. What they've been able to do over on the West Bank around the Hilario Center, building out the park system is just fantastic.
So, and Ben in Lafayette has to lean on Youngsville a little bit because they have a fantastic facility
Neighboring
there.
community there.
Right, and Youngsville doesn't even have hotels. Come here, play ball, go back there and stay.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it up in North Louisiana now as well. It's like I was just introduced to North Louisiana 2 weeks ago. I'm such a...
Have you been to Toledo Bend?
No, I have not. And I haven't been to Poverty Point yet either.
Oh,
Shame on me for both fronts.
Toledo Bend should put you on put that on your bucket list.
No, well, and my son has don't pardon the pun at all, hooked on fishing now. We took him down to CCA rodeo a couple weeks ago, and it was he's all in. So we'll definitely make Toledo Bend a part of it. Now, getting back around to not your day job for sure, but one of your many side hustles is the voice in the Superdome. You will hear Mark at Saints games. We're coming up on 60, the big 60 for the New Orleans Saints.
The New Orleans Saints. We had our first game in the Caesar Superdome for the 60th year last weekend against Jacksonville Jaguars. It was a great outing. Obviously, preseason is preseason, but a lot of guys saw action. The stadium had to be at least 2/3 full.
Which for a preseason game, especially,
and a Saturday too.
Yeah,
it was just a great atmosphere. And there's a lot of special things going to be happening at the Caesar Superdome for Saints games for the 60th year.
the Saints have been, over the years, it's been, you and I are old enough to know that it's been perennial loser for so long. And then when somehow it's like the franchise started back over when Tom Benson bought it.
That's right. When Mr. Benson came in the 80s and started putting the money where it needed to be in management as well as the coaching staff. And it's just a whole new attitude. And then it's continued on with Mrs. Benson and the investments that she's making in the team. And, you constantly hear from the players how our facility, for instance, on Airline Drive is one of the best NFL facilities. I mean, that draws people to want to play and want to be part of a team. And it's just one of the examples. And I feel very good about the season. Obviously, we're just starting, but the enthusiasm in the community and throughout the region is greater than I've felt it in a long time.
Well, because it's coupled with fresh start coach who has a lot of positive behind him. Tyler Shuck looked good in last season. We did a lot of really smart things in the offseason. One of those got derailed for a couple months last week, but that's okay. But I think off the field, our excitement for this, and it might not be fair to the team, but our excitement for this team has a lot to do with Drew Brees being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like an instant reminder of what 2009 was.
So much icing on the cake there, and so well deserved. As you probably watched, if you were not there in Canton, Saints Nation took it over. It was like a suburb of Louisiana in Canton, Ohio, and he's knocked it out of the park as far as his remarks and how he talked about the team and Mrs. Benson and what his neighbors meant to him. I mean, he truly spoke from the heart.
So as soon as he said the words New Orleans, and all of who that stood up and started yelling, like I'm thinking about it. Like it was such a special moment. And
he would die for New Orleans.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I got chills just now.
Yeah, everybody could talk about gumbo and etouffee, but when he talked about his neighbors making red beans and rice on Monday.
And he had them up there.
Yeah.
He brought them. The Price family.
Oh,
Price
my word.
Family, they were there.
So good. It's incredible. So we're going on 60 years in. What's your impression of what the future looks like for the franchise? Because we're going to see an evolving NFL moving towards, Roger Goodell said recently an international market is going to be inevitable.
Yeah, I'm believing, first off, the Saints franchise, and New Orleans and the Saints and Louisiana together, we're here for the long haul. I believe it's become such an integral part of our identity, and everyone knows that. As far as New Orleans and the Saints' position within the NFL and international, we have such an easy connection to the French. Let's start there, right? We're going to Paris this year. We're going to be playing the Steelers on the 25th. That's such a natural connection. And I think the NFL is playing to New Orleans to help bring the NFL brand in such a great way. Do you know how many people from Louisiana and New Orleans particularly are going to be in Paris? We're going to be if you can take over a city, it's going to happen.
Oh, it's going to be like Tigers in Omaha.
Exactly. Yeah. It's going to be like the Tiger fans taking over Omaha, Nebraska.
100%.
I just think all of it is playing well into our history and our heritage. And we do so well with the brand of New Orleans internationally, and I think the NFL realizes that.
Along with your other many side hustles out there, we got Love NOLA TV.
Yeah.
Tell the folks that aren't familiar with it yet about some of the storytelling on the show.
I'm having a blast with this. The Haggertys, Glenn and Keith Haggerty, who own Love NOLA TV, approached me end of last year to think about doing a podcast, a video podcast, where we would be an uplifting 35, 40, 45 minutes of New Orleans or regional stories. And so we're bringing the personalities in to help tell those stories, whether it's the Tyler Shucks, who we've had on, or Emma Lagasse, or Serene Mabai from the Dakar NOLA, chefs, sports figures. We had Dr. Houghton from Ochsner's new Neuroscience Institute talking about the important work that's being going on there.
Yeah.
So it's just keeping it on a positive side, and it's a weekly podcast. You can find it on YouTube with the Mark Romick Show, and I'm just having a blast with it.
Well, because the guest list is very diverse. It's not coming from one particular. You're not, fishing the same pond every time.
Yeah, well, it's sort of like I'm trying to emulate what you do.
Well, I'm about to emulate what you do.
Well, look, let's trade some guests here then. I had the greatest conversation just a couple of weeks ago with Mackie Shilstone. He
Wow.
sat with his son Spencer. They're supporting an organization that New Orleans and Company is standing up called FitFed. It's going to be an annual kind of wellness, corporate community games competition along with the marathon. And he told stories of his work with so many of these celebrities. My jaw was on the floor as he spoke. So that's a good one to catch if you haven't seen that.
No, I have not seen that one yet. I'll
Yeah.
be on the lookout. So where I find him is when you pop up on social.
Okay.
Okay, when you pop up on social, it's the questionnaire.
Yeah, well, the official New Orleans
The
questionnaire.
official New Orleans questionnaire.
I have to say, it's brought to you by Bienville Capital Group. I had to say that.
Okay, we'll
But
shout out Bienville Capital Group.
We're asking some of the greatest questions you want to ask somebody, including what's your favorite smell
Yeah, what? No,
in New Orleans.
hang on, because you're
Oh.
going to do the you're doing the
You're going
questionnaire.
to do it to me now.
Yes. Have you done it yet?
I have never done the questionnaire.
Okay. Now, when you put together, did you put together the questionnaire? Or was
The
this-
Haggertys.
Okay.
The Haggertys.
Okay.
Did.
So I was curious about some of the questions along the way as to what was the genesis of them. So, all right, your best po' boy.
My best po' boy is a roast beef and Swiss dressed with extra pickle.
From,
Now that's like naming my favorite child.
well, you have a favorite child.
Okay, so what comes to mind is Parkway Bakery,
Okay.
Justin Kennedy's po' boy.
Okay.
Po' boy. I have to get that right. Po' boy.
Yes.
Say it right, Mark. Po'
Yeah,
boy
It's all good.
is the
It's-
roast
no-
beef Swiss dressed extra pickle from Parkway.
Now, when
Bakery.
asking that question, does it have to be from within the city?
I try to say in New Orleans, where do you get your favorite
Okay.
po' boy?
All right.
But
Because-
look, we've had Rocky and Carlos.
sure.
We've had Metairie locations, North Shore locations.
Okay. No, as long as North Shore's in the mix, because Bears in Covington,
Yeah.
and there's a Bears in Metairie as well, but like Bears in Covington, that's where I grew up. A lot of your favorite po' boy has to do with like reminiscing. It has to do
it's
with
like your neighborhood.
connecting memory.
Right.
So if you grew up living on Shortstop's going to be your go-to.
Or somebody like on Magazine Street, they're going to say guys for the most part, right?
Exactly.
Or
exactly.
Frankie and Johnny's.
Yeah.
But the guest always rules. Whatever the guest says is right.
That's exactly right. It's the
The
beautiful part.
customer is always
It's
right.
the beautiful part of the questionnaire. If there was one New Orleans musical artist you could see, who would it be?
I would see Irma Thomas, and I would see her at Preservation Hall, an intimate setting.
Okay.
Right, I'd be sitting on a bench right in front and listen to her sing her.
My
ballads.
grandmother used to bowl with her.
Wow.
I know. And my grandma's been gone for 25 years. So
My second choice would be Dr. John.
that would
At
be my answer.
Tipitina's.
Yep, that would be my right answer for sure. All right, what is your favorite New Orleans smell?
My favorite New Orleans smell is going to be growing up. I just had a memory. My grandmother's fried chicken. She
Okay.
would drop the chicken in the boiling oil on top of her stove, and some of the spices or whatever she did, it just filled the room. That just came back to me, Brian. You just brought back a great memory.
See, just like the po' boy, it's the same
That-
thing.
And my second favorite smell would be beignets.
Okay. Would dome foam count in there?
Yeah, sure.
There's
Fresh-
something about the
fresh-
way, or
fresh-
stale. Either way.
It
Just
works.
There's something about this that mix of like there's something sticking to your shoe. But that to me was growing up in the loge level. Like it was before there was a club level. When it was the loge. All right. So I'm answering the questions a while. I don't know why. All right, Mardi Gras Jazz Fest.
I'm going to go with what my mayor said today. Both.
Fair enough.
I'm
fair
sorry.
enough.
I love Mardi Gras. I ride in a parade. I love Jazz Fest for what it does for our community. So
That's fair. There are no wrong
thank God they're
answers.
not happening at the same time, because then I would have a hard time choosing.
No, yeah, you'd also have an impossible time finding a hotel room for sure. Saints Mount Rushmore. Who's on your Saints Mount Rushmore?
Okay, St. Mount Rushmore. I have 4 faces. I can use 4 faces. I'm gonna do the couple. I'm gonna do Tom and Gail Benson
As one.
as one.
Okay.
They're right. Yeah, they're right
Yeah.
in that one face. I'm gonna do Jim Finks. He helped Mr. Benson turn the franchise around. I'm gonna do Archie Manning, and I'm going to do Drew Brees.
Fair enough. Good stuff. Neutral ground or sidewalk side?
Sidewalk side.
That is the right answer. I'm sorry. And there's no wrong answers to the rest of these. That is the right answer on this one.
Because
There's-
invariably you're going to know somebody on the sidewalk side in a home that has a restroom.
Yes. And no matter what you do, if you're on the neutral ground side, you're going to have to cross the street. So that's Your earliest memory of the French Quarter?
Oh, Dad worked at Channel 6 at 520 Rural Street. So on Saturdays, our treat was he would put us in the car, he would go down and do his work, and we would run the studio. And at lunchtime, he would give us a quarter, or maybe a little bit more than a quarter, and we'd go to Johnny's Po' Boys, located on St. Louis toward past Charters, to get a po' boy,
Nice.
which was a roast beef po' boy.
There you go. One New Orleans person to take to lunch with and where?
New Orleans person to take to lunch, I would go to Commander's Palace for lunch, and I would take my dad. If he was with us, he'd be right there with me.
Fantastic.
That's
answer.
Jerry Romig.
Unbelievable answer. That's awesome. Your favorite New Orleans song?
Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans?
Beautiful. Okay, so one New Orleans food item that you cannot live without.
You know, because it started here, it started in this region. I'm going to say the original Popeye's fried chicken.
Love that. Oh, yes.
And,
Yep.
And look, I have great friends with Raising Cane's.
Yeah,
Love Raising
Todd's
Cane's.
awesome, yeah.
But I go back to my memory
Yep.
of working and going for the first time to get some of that chicken.
Yeah, and what an icon Al Copeland was.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable stuff. All right, you've been away for a while. You come back home. Where are you stopping for a drink, and what are you drinking?
I'm going to go to Yale College Inn. I'm going to have an old fashioned.
Mine is so close. In fact, right next door, but it didn't used to be right next door.
Where were we?
I'm going to have a Dixie beer at the Rock and Bowl.
We're right there. We could just meet in the parking lot.
Right? Right. Well, we didn't used to. I mean,
That's right. Used to be
the
down
old Rock
Carrollton,
and Bowl where you were
Carrollton and
upstairs.
Tulane. Right.
Where
you walk
you
those
could-
steps.
Yeah. You can come down those steps. That's the challenge.
That was the Blanchards still have it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what a great, so many great nights. I
Yeah.
took my wife to the Rock and Bowl for our first date.
Wow.
Yep. Took my wife to the Rock Bowl for our first date, saw the
That is
Bucktown
such a
All Stars,
classic.
and then they played our wedding.
And they're still playing there.
Yes, they are. I still talk to them all the time. All right, 5 words or less. Why do you love New Orleans?
The people.
That was 2 words. No, 2 more words.
People.
Excellent. Mark Romig, always appreciate the time, man. Thank you so
Brian,
much.
thanks for
Thanks for
having me.
playing along and letting me
Appreciate
do
it.
that. Absolutely.
Love you.
We are so long. Love you too, sir. We are so long for a break. Tell you what, we're going to take that break, come back. We're going from New Orleans up to Monroe. We got Atlanta Cooper next.
All right, got less than 1 minute. Then here comes your bed music. We'll drop you back in.
How we looking, Wilton? Yeah.
So, that must have been either. I don't think that was Taylor. Taylor doesn't seem. I was there when that happened.
Oh, I guess we got a minute or so.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Where did you end up staying?
Got about 30, 40 seconds.
I'll tell the story on air.
Oh no! Don't tell it on air if it's that
Oh,
bad.
no,
you
no,
got, you
no,
got
no.
the big eyes. I'm like, oh crap.
No, it's not
I
bad.
mean, we are slant. I mean,
So I've told the story on my show probably more times than my audience wants to hear.
Yeah.
So
The conversation continues now. Coverage of the 2026 Louisiana Travel Summit, live from the JW Marriott in New Orleans, is on Talk 107.3.
oh my word, can't go any further. Well, I guess you can go further from one point to the next. We go from New Orleans up to Monroe right now as we continue our coverage of the Louisiana Travel Association's annual summit. Oh man, just a couple segments to go before we're all done here. We've got Alana Cooper in with us from Monroe, West Monroe. I guess my first question is, do you have time to breathe?
A little bit, yeah.
Well, do you?
We're staying busy,
Why-
but
but
we're,
so I can't tell. Does this make you busy, or does it make you like have all kinds of free time because there's nothing
No.
left to sell?
oh yeah, there's still lots to sell. Everyone's not totally sold out every day of the week, all week. So,
There is no
always
way
busy.
that a morning radio host in Baton Rouge should know that Monroe has 1,500 hotel rooms, and especially when he's number 1501. So I was up your way 2 weeks ago, which, by the way, y'all's convention center is super cool.
Yeah.
It's just the three different buildings with the courtyard down the middle. It's like you could serve direct purposes across the board. We'll talk about that in a minute. I'm such a hotel guy. Cozy little Airbnb, wonderful little 2-bedroom Airbnb. May have been haunted.
Okay.
May have been haunted. I don't know.
Ooh,
You know,
I
when you
didn't know that story. I can sell that.
well, so I mean, you leave out for the convention, or you leave out to do the show in the morning. You come back and there's doors open that weren't open when you left. Yeah,
Interesting.
maybe a little haunted
We can-
Airbnb
I was
action.
gonna say, I like
So,
that. It could be
but the
fun.
reason we're talking about this is because Meta's in town, or Meta's just outside of town, as it were.
Right.
How has that impacted your world, specifically from a tourism standpoint?
From a tourism standpoint, I've got a few thousand people that are in the area that are never been there before. They're
Mhm.
there working, and they have a little bit of time off and looking for some good food and some things to do, and want to kind of experience it. I've met people from all over the United States who are there working, and what's wonderful is you get the pleasant surprise of, or the pleasant feedback of, people here are so nice, and the food is so good. I love this they give me a restaurant or somewhere that they've eaten. I had we launched Washita Paddling Trails last year. We were doing a paddle in October, November out to the Eagle's Nest, and one of there was 5 guys who worked construction over there. One of them had lived in Boston. He was real friendly and chatting. The other guys were kind of like, I don't know who you are. Why are you paddling up next to me? So anyway, but they were fun, and they were like, we just wanted to try it. We wanted to experience something new, and this is gorgeous. I mean, they got to see, the Eagle's Nest and the alligators and things of that nature, and they were like, this is so cool, and just something that they couldn't experience where they were all from, and they were from all over. But the gentleman who had lived in Boston was like, he moves with construction, and he works somewhere 3 to 5 years typically.
Okay.
He said, I'm just having so much fun getting out here. And he was telling about some restaurants he'd been to. So it's just neat to see that impact and getting to make that positive impression. I'm sure there's some challenges too. I mean, some of them are used to a big city, but most of them love the fact that there's not much traffic and that they can get somewhere pretty much in 30 minutes. And that's a big deal. I mean, if you're in a large city, 30 minutes to somewhere is normal.
No,
where it's not normal for
absolutely.
us. So it's been fun. It's been fun meeting all the people. Our restaurants are doing very well. Our hotels are doing extremely well. And economics demand is there. So and supply is limited. I mean, we have 2,500 hotel rooms.
Oh, it's 2,500.
2,500 total. And but we have 100 that will open in about a month and a half, and we have 200 under construction. So there's a residency and extended stay is opening probably
Right next door to each other.
Well, right.
Well,
The
so
two
there's
next door to each other, yes.
Yeah,
That's 200 rooms.
I saw those for sure on my way
Yes.
out towards. I was heading out to go toward the Meta facility.
Okay.
So on my way out, I got to see those two, and I'm like, well, get done, finish.
Yes.
So
I know.
y'all need it. I mean, y'all need it in a bad way.
Well, that is the largest convention that we can host is Louisiana Municipal Association, which is what you're up for. It's a huge convention for our community, always has been. I mean, I
Mhm.
can go back up in around 30 years now. It is a big impact to our community to have 1,000 to 1,200 people like that in the community. But we also have, like I said, the layer of Meta is there with the workers who are there's a lot of people who are staying in the Richland Parish area or even to the east of it, but we are probably absorbing the most of them that are coming in transient.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and the because the next available stop is what Ruston.
yes, 30 minutes the other side of us is
Yeah.
Ruston. So, yeah, I haven't heard that Ruston has seen as much of an impact from it, but I know
'Cause
we
God
have.
forbid
and then-
if it's not Ruston, they're going to have to leave the state and go to Vicksburg.
Yeah, we don't want to go to
We don't-
Mississippi.
we don't
I
want
love
Mi- no,
Mississippi.
well,
Don't
there's
get me wrong,
nothing
but
wrong
yeah,
with Mississippi,
but
but no,
yeah, I
we're-
want the money in the state. But no, there's a lot of houses have been bought in the Richland Parish area, and people are staying in those as well as
Yeah.
the Madison Parish, and East Carroll and West Carroll have even seen some impact with that.
Now,
So,
with Meta taking up so much space and so many rooms and whatnot, how does it make it? It's make it, I would assume, harder to do the rest of your job because you're still selling on a full, a full scale here. You bring in LMA, but Meta's already there.
Yeah.
You get to, I get to meet the mayor of Sterlington,
yes,
who's fantastic,
Matt,
by the
yeah.
way. Talking about youth sports, and it's like, we're selling baseball all summer long, but it's like, where are they? So, like,
Yeah.
does that make your job harder?
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit of a challenge at the moment. Amateur sports has been our bread and butter for a long time.
Yeah.
Weekends were when the hotels were slow, and pre-COVID, they're like our corporate business was strong. Pre-COVID, they were like, we want to work weekends. We did amateur sports. It has become, we've invested in facilities. One of those being in Sterlington Sports Complex. We have the only 5-plex with 370-foot fences, so you can do the older age divisions of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a beautiful complex. And so having that, it's 10 fields out there, but the uniqueness is the 5 fields with the longer fields and the longer for the bigger baseball. And so that's been home to quite a few national events there. And then there's 10 fields there, so it's definitely can do a lot of different tournaments for a lot of different age divisions. And Matt Talbot is a very good friend and a very good partner in working with the city. I am so blessed. I mean, I've got great mayors. I got Mayor Friday Ellis in Monroe, Mayor Stacey Albert Mitchell in West Monroe, and then even Mayor Gerald Brown in Ridgewood. And then our police jury is also. So our municipalities working together, they see this growth and they're seeing the impact. They're seeing it in what they're generating from sales tax as well as what we do. So, but after COVID, amateur sports became a key player for us because I can still remember. Some people may not love that, but I mean, for me, we opened, the state said we can open, we'll let people come, we're going to let people travel. That first weekend, we had 72 baseball teams in town. And so we played ball at Sterlington.
Kick the door in.
I'm like,
Yes,
let's go.
go.
But the kids were like, we want to play. I mean,
Absolutely.
they're kids. They want to get up
And it's an out.
and be around each other anyway. And
Right.
we had fortunate people were very conscientious. I think there was some family told us there was one kid on their team that wasn't feeling good, and so they just didn't come. I mean, people made the right decisions, and
Sure.
you hope that people will do that, and they did. And we played ball all summer long. In fact, we were down very minimally compared to anybody else just because of that. It was a big driver, and it stayed that way because we do have great facilities, we have great food, we have good hotels. The affordability of our hotels is kind of a little bit tight right now because of the demand. But we will see that it's loosening up a little bit now because man camps have opened up in Richland Parish, so they're taking some of the workers out of that picture.
Oh, I got to learn about the whole man. Like it's like the show Landman. I got to learn
It
about the whole
is.
man camp thing while I was up there.
It kind of looks like I was like, maybe we could pitch to Taylor Sheridan, come film over here. So
well,
I don't know.
Here's the thing, though. We have the tax credits for it.
Yes, exactly. I actually saw him not too long ago, so I was like, I said, should have pitched it. But anyway, it was like a brief, like, oh, there he is, kind of thing. But yes, it is. It has been fun. It's really exciting. Some people want to go down a negative hole, but I mean, for Richland Parish and for Northeast Louisiana to have 500 permanent jobs coming on, and then having the influx of the 2,000 plus people that are there working, they're spending money in our communities. They're eating out. They're spending, and that economic impact is definitely ripple effect, and it's going everywhere. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. And at peak times, it's going to be 6,000.
yeah.
Are you ready for that?
Yeah, I mean, we're there. We're really August to December was when they were expecting the peak on the initial phase.
Mhm.
the second phase is where I haven't gotten those numbers yet, but I mean, altogether, it is definitely, like I said, we're there. I mean, but like I said, the impact is definitely being seen by our locals.
We're talking with Alana Cooper from Monroe, West Monroe. So take us past youth sports. Who do you target next? What are you really trying to sell?
Well, youth sports, we do events and then special events, and then we're doing on the leisure side. We still are doing our target market is again within a drive range that wants to get out of town for a weekend, wants some really good food, some relaxing things. Whether you're a big shopper, which we really have great shopping in our area, and with our antique alley, it's not just antiques, it's boutiques. It's really, and then our mall is still really really high functioning, which a lot of people don't always have that. We still are very blessed that our mall is still doing very very well. And then our the other thing is like the food and the culture, but also the outdoors. We did launch the paddling trails, which I was telling you about.
Yeah.
So people are getting out and doing that and enjoying our waterways, which are beautiful and very unique. Then just kind of like I said, the getaway for the weekend. Let's just kind of like, even if it's couples, that's a market that we go to. And then also, like I said, the girlfriends getaway. We had really fun with the Louisiana Municipal Association. We got to kind of catalyst that with. We did a shopping mahjong and mocktails at the Hotel Monroe, which I was kind of hoping you would say. Yeah, so people loved all that.
I was
that's kinda
supposed
like
to be at the
things you
Hotel
love.
Monroe, but the first night was not available. So rather than move me over, they just kept me where I was.
Yeah.
The Hotel Monroe is such, like, you have to put eyes on it. It's an unbelievable property. It's really, really great.
It really is. It's absolutely wonderful to have this boutique hotel in our community that is.
But it's bigger than boutique, though.
But it is absolutely gorgeous, and it's like it's almost like a wedding destination place. You can do that. They have some great opportunities for people who want to do something and they don't want to do it in their community.
Oh, it's super Instagram friendly.
Oh yeah, and then the food. It's actually the coolest thing. A lot of people don't know it, but it is gluten free. It is a gluten free hotel. There is no gluten in the product. The gentleman who's a state representative has celiac and doesn't in his family, so they don't eat gluten, and you don't know it if you eat it.
I didn't know it.
I know most people who eat it at Heirloom do not realize that that's what they're eating. They may can tell on like a cracker or something, but everything else you will never know, and it is so good.
Well, if I'm judging a restaurant on the crackers, the restaurant's got bigger problems.
Exactly. They have some fabulous food. And then the Star Bar. Did you get to go to it?
No.
Oh, next time.
Right.
Next time we'll go.
See, my problem is when I come into work, I work. And then,
I
so.
know. I do the same thing. I go into so many places and don't get to visit, but the Star Bar is worth a trip just itself. It's a beautiful view of the river.
Mhm.
That atmosphere is gorgeous. Even if you're not, like I said, a mocktail is perfectly fine, but just to go see it, it's worth the trip.
I feel like Friday set me up for an encore. I feel like Friday set me up to bring me back a second time because he left a lot on the table that I haven't experienced yet. So, by the way, Mayor Friday Ellis, is he ever not selling?
No, I love him. I'm like, if you want to give up this mayor gig, come work for us. He is my favorite. Whenever we bring people in, like we're bringing a site inspection or something, we're like, hey, can you meet us? And I love it when he does. I just sit back and kind of go ahead, Friday.
Knock it out. No, knock it out. He does such a phenomenal job. But the thing is, everything he's telling you something positive about, he delivers. He's not telling you something that is not like you're going to get there and be like, this isn't what he promised. Because Monroe is delivering on the promises. So
they showed out at LMA. They really did. I mean, our community, I can't remember the number of volunteers, but I want to say it was around 100 people volunteered to work some shift just to be a welcome, to do whatever it was, drive the golf cart, the community. That's what we have. That is so our people are just phenomenal. We hosted our first accessibility event earlier this year in March. We had National Wheelchair Basketball National Championships. And so we had people from all over the United States come in competing for the national championships from 6 years old to probably the oldest contestant was in their 50s. So 60s, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, there were some older guys and it was so fun watching them and seeing them over the 2 weekends. But it was one of those opportunities to showcase what we have. That was at our new West Monroe Sports and Events, which is a wonderful facility that we invested in. But having the people do that and come into our community, it's a great opportunity to showcase all the different things that we have, and that people are welcome, even of all different abilities as well.
I'm sold for sure. Alana Cooper, thank you so much for a couple minutes today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Always great to see you.
Likewise, likewise. All right, we got 2 segments to go. Yes, we've been running long. I don't think anybody out there would argue. Both those conversations were worth it. So quick break, coming back next.
Now back to the JW Marriott in New Orleans. Coverage of the 2026 Louisiana Travel Summit is on Talk 1073.
We in?
Mardi Gras cup in your pantry.
Yeah, you're in.
Two more segments to go here on Talk 107.3 FM as we're broadcasting live from the Louisiana Travel Association's annual summit. We're not done with guests just yet. We've got one more guest to go before we get you out of here. That's Diana Vallette. It's Vallette, right?
Vallette, yes.
Vallette, yes. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. I'm so happy to talk to you.
No, glad to have you on here. Gordy said get Diana on us. Yes, let's do this.
Whatever Gordy says.
You kind of know, you know the drill. But there's always great reason for it because
Yeah.
we've got a lot to talk about. I don't want to make this about your boyfriend.
But listen, I don't either.
The path the path of the conversation is going to revolve around that. So
Sure.
for the audience, let's talk a little bit about Heath and about connecting Lake Charles to Baton Rouge.
Yeah, so the guy that is lucky enough to date me, his name is Heath Schroyer.
Wow, I see where this is going. I love where this is going.
He's the number 2 on Diverge at the athletic department at LSU now. But before, I met him when he was the AD at McNeese.
Right.
So I was living in Lake Charles. I'm the editor of a magazine there. We met through that. And yeah, we've traveled over to I-10 and now we're in Baton Rouge. And he's a big basketball guy. He coached for 30 years and then moved over to the AD at McNeese. And I've learned, free throws and 3-pointers. And I know, now I know things about basketball, which I didn't 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the
Don't quiz me.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay.
I'm not going to
Okay.
quiz you.
All right, don't
What's
quiz
a
me.
5-out offense?
Come on.
Okay.
Offense is whenever our team has the ball.
If
If you have any,
Points.
if you have
You
any
get
other
points.
questions, let me know.
Diana Vallette's with us, but I want to talk about that transition a little bit here.
Yeah.
Not just for him, but just looking from Lake Charles to Baton Rouge because we're in a tourism, based, which is a hospitality based, which is a get to know your municipalities based
That's right.
sort of event right here. So connections between Lake Charles and Baton Rouge. This is part of the bigger story of Louisiana.
Yeah.
Is that the interconnectivity here? So walk me through a little bit about seeing both and the reception to both.
Yeah, so that's really actually a big part of my mission and my work in the magazine. I really like amplifying people and places. My favorite thing to write about in the magazine is food and people. So it's been really cool transitioning over here to Baton Rouge and having a couple, eating at this place, eating at that place. I've worked really closely with the people in Visit Lake Charles, and now I've connected with the people at Visit Baton Rouge. It's very interesting. It feels like the Baton Rouge area and the Lake Charles area with, President Roos, with Will Wade coming over.
Mhm.
He had to stop at North Carolina, perhaps. I don't know.
And maybe.
Yeah. And with Heath, I think that's that guy's name, Heath Schroyer, perhaps. That has been cool.
Yeah.
It's like we're a little Lake Charles / Baton Rouge family.
So, okay, new to Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
So you don't have like long time embedded favorites that you would have brought preconceived biases with you. So from the food space, give me some of your favorites.
Okay, I really like that little area under the overpass.
Yeah.
The overpass.
By Perkins Road overpass.
I think so. It's
Yes.
like where Building 5 is.
Yep.
And okay, you know where I had dinner last night, which I
Where?
think no one talks about enough, or maybe you guys do and you just didn't tell me, is Nino's. Do you know Nino's?
Yes.
Everyone knows Nino's, right?
Nino's, not Gino's, Nino's.
Correct.
Off
with
of
an
Blue
N.
Bonnet.
Yeah, I think so. And like in the corner next to it's like hidden and small and tiny, but the food they make the gnocchi from
Yeah.
scratch.
Yeah. So
Nino's.
so this is a restaurant that was fantastic many years ago.
Okay.
And they kind of faded, and then they've got new owners come in.
Oh, okay.
And the new owners brought so much passion and love back into what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's brought the restaurant back to exactly where it needs to be.
Yes.
They're a phenomenal story and a cool couple to hang out with.
Yes. Well, speaking of Gino's, also, I didn't meet the couple at
Okay.
Nino's, but at Gino's. So Heath and I'm still in Lake Charles part time because of the magazine, and so I was coming to Baton Rouge, and he's like, "We're gonna have a date." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait! I haven't caught up with you in a while." So he's like, "We're gonna go to this place called Gino's." Little did I know it was going to be Heath, myself, and Gino. So if we're going to go to Gino's, we're going to be on a date with Gino, which is great. I love
Yes.
him. The food there is also great. Baton Rouge feels like a little bit of a small, bigger town to me.
It is.
Does it feel like that to you?
What is small, bigger town, but a big, small town.
Yeah.
Yeah, same
Have you
thing.
been here for a very long time?
I've been in Baton Rouge since 95.
Okay.
So
From where?
North Shore.
Oh,
Covington, Mandeville.
You're
Yeah.
a Louisiana guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you not?
Ish.
I just assume Valette
Ish.
sounds a little.
Well, that's the ex-husband's last name that I've kept with me. I have 5
okay,
kids, so I
okay.
kept the last name to have the same last name as my kids. But yeah, we moved. I grew up in Ville Platte. We
Okay.
moved from New Jersey. My dad's an OBGYN. He got a job.
New Jersey to Ville
Let me tell
Platte.
you something. The culture shock that occurred. It was a big culture shock. I never heard of Boudin, didn't know what come see meant, the whole thing. But yeah, I grew up. So now I'm a Louisiana girl.
Okay.
Now.
Okay. It's just that I have this like you want to spell Sopranos with an EAUX.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Uh,
Similar.
very good stuff.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the magazine. Let's talk a little bit
Yeah.
about Lanyap and what what you talked about the mission being food, but this is an ever evolving space,
Yeah.
not just in the content, but the medium.
Yeah, you know what's been cool with Lanyap? I think because of our market, I know that a lot of people say that print media is dying. That has not been our experience. So the magazine's 143 pages. It comes out every 3 weeks. It's been around for 40 years. It started off as a magazine called Sports World. And then
Really?
Yeah, it was thin, called Sports World, and they started doing profiles about people. And then they transitioned, and now it's Lanyap Magazine. Our issue actually came out today. It's the LSU and McNeese football preview.
Okay.
So I got to read that and edit that and pretend like I know about football when I'm talking to people, which is fun. I do a lot of food writing because I love food, like we talked about.
Mhm.
And so it's a fun gig. The magazine's like thriving. It's wild. People in Lake Charles really like it. As a point of preference, we are not online, so you have to pick it up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not even social?
Not really. I mean, I'm socially, you can't shut me up socially, but the magazine itself, we have an Instagram page, not very active.
Oh, wow.
You can't
That's-
find the magazine in
That's
totality
amazing
online.
when you think about the content that you're creating
Yeah.
because it's so interactive and the content itself is social.
Correct. And when I first started there, I tried talking the publisher into going online, and he was hesitant. And I thought, what an idiot. But turns out he's brilliant because that's why we're doing so well.
Unbelievable. Very,
Yeah.
very cool stuff. We got about 3 minutes left
Okay.
with Diana.
You want me to interview back or what?
I'm horrible on that end, by
No,
the way.
you're not.
No, I'm terrible on that end.
No, I'm sure you do great.
No, it's rough.
Okay.
All right, so where can folks find Lanyap? I mean, like
So
what
we're-
kind of region?
Yeah, we're available in Southwest Louisiana, the 5 parish area, Calcasieu, Cameron, Jeff Davis. Yeah, you can look online at bestofswla.com. We have a few of our features there that you can find, but you're gonna have to drive into Lake Charles. You're gonna have to eat at Daryl's Po' Boy and pick up the magazine in person. Old school.
I wasn't gonna go to Daryl's Po' Boy, but
You weren't?
we did the travel summit from Lake Charles last year, and
Mhm.
Lake Charles people will fight you
Oh yeah.
over the power of Daryl's Po' Boy.
Oh yeah. Have you had one?
No.
Well, that's where you went wrong.
Well, no.
You haven't had one, so you don't know.
No.
Where did you eat when you were in Lake Charles?
I didn't. I ate at the casino.
Okay,
I was
that
at,
counts.
yeah, what was it?
LaBerge.
L'Auberge one, and then moved over to the Golden Nugget the next
Oh,
time I was there. I was
nice.
there like a week later and went to the Golden Nugget, and it's can't go wrong eating at the
You
casino.
can't go wrong.
But Lake Charles people will fight you if you think that like Daryl's is not like if Daryl's wouldn't be the number one po' boy in the state,
no,
much less Lake
well,
Charles.
Lake Charles people are correct. Is what
We're in New Orleans right now.
I know.
We're in New
But
Orleans.
we're
right
a whole state.
now. No, I understand
Kumbaya.
that. I understand that.
Yeah.
We're in New Orleans right
Okay.
now. So before we get you out of here, just about a minute to go before we close out. Back to the Lake Charles to Baton Rouge connector right
Yeah.
there. Have there been any real surprises along the way?
Honestly, what has been very surprising to me is how kind the people in Baton Rouge are. When I first met Heath, he was at McNeese, but I wasn't in the football. I wasn't in the athletic world, right? I'm media,
Mhm.
and so it took me a little while to break into the McNeese family. It has been so surprising and really refreshing how kind the LSU family has been. They've been very welcoming. Baton Rouge people are just really, really nice.
We try to be.
Yeah.
Get us in
Other
traffic
than
for
you.
a little while. Oh no,
No, I'm just kidding.
Get us in traffic for a little while.
Yeah.
You'll catch a
Don't honk at me. Listen, if you honk at me, I'll cry.
That's let's hope that it gets avoided.
Yeah.
In the meanwhile, I appreciate you stopping by for a couple
Yeah.
minutes, Diana Vallette. Thank you so much.
Thanks for talking to me.
Absolutely. We are going to close out in just a minute. Quick break. We'll close out next.
All right, 15 seconds till I drop you back in.
Cool.
Well, he's got it on Facebook. That's fair. That's true. Oh, it's on Facebook. And then you have the whole header Twitter. Is that what that is? Yeah.
Now back to the JW Marriott in New Orleans. Coverage of the 2026 Louisiana Travel Summit is on Talk 107.3.
Wow, just about to wrap up here. Told y'all it was going to be a quick 2 hours, the quick 5 hours, actually, when you take into account the morning show as well. Greatly appreciate the folks at the Louisiana Travel Association for having me out once again. This is year 3 of doing this. Next year, Baton Rouge, we get to show up and show out. Going to be coming your way from Baton Rouge next year. As soon as we have all the details, we'll map that out for you. And look forward to, Baton Rouge just put its best foot forward, as New Orleans has, as Lake Charles did last year, and Shreveport did the year before that. Absolutely love this coverage. If there is any piece of it that you missed or possibly wanted to hear again, it'll be available. All the individual interviews will be available on demand at talk1073.com. And, of course, the show in its entirety available over on Talk 107.3's Facebook page, as it were. Just a couple of quick notes before we get out of here on the business of tourism itself. The economic driver into this. You heard from Lake Charles, you heard from Monroe, you heard from New Orleans. Those three specifically talking. And by the way, Jill Kidder, Laura Katie, the whole team from Visit Baton Rouge, they were not on the show today because we will talk to them regularly. That's we wanted to hear from the rest of the state that we don't get to hear from very, very often. But tourism as an economic driver was such a huge theme throughout the show today, and will be a catalyst in the future as well, as we're actually looking to push the state on an economic front, push the state when it comes to attaining more jobs, grabbing more jobs, getting people here and the like. So just phenomenal stuff on that front. Parents, the youth sports front. That was the same story told from 6 different locations. Unbelievable. And then, of course, we got to visit with Mark Roman and get the official New Orleans questionnaire. Awesome stuff. Look, y'all, thank y'all for playing along. Greatly appreciate you hanging out. We did 5 solid hours today. Tomorrow on the show, on the morning show, we will be broadcasting live right up the road from the Louisiana Department of Insurance's annual conference. And then from there, it's on to Legislator. That's going to do it for me. Thank you to Wilton back in the studio. We'll see you tomorrow. We good, Wilton? Are we out? We clear? I'm going to work under the assumption that we are. So we'll say goodbye to Facebook. We're talking insurance all day tomorrow, y'all. We'll see you then.